the original Skyrim. And that's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Peace! Now I'm kidding. This week we have an unprecedented Whiterun retexture, breathing accessories, one hell of an acid trip, and groping the air for an entire 2 minutes. Roll the intro. Skyrim is almost 6 years old, and people are still retexturing Whiterun. My god, the dedication is real. This is Skyland Whiterun, a Whiterun texture like you ain't ever even seen the likes of. One that uses a blend of traditional and photogrammetry texturing techniques. Don't ask me what that is. So the first thing you're gonna notice is that Whiterun is no longer that vomit yellow looking color. Sure, it's really colorless and dark looking now, but that's fucking badass. I mean, the colors of Whiterun were vomit yellow and baby blue, like it's some kind of Nordic carnival. This looks so much normaler. It now looks grittier and more atmospheric. Look at this door. The actual design hasn't changed, but there's at least 10 times more detail here. I don't know, maybe I have a hard-on for scratches, but the more scratches, the more better it is, and the more grammar I'm better at. And all of the wood has just been made more worn out looking, like it survived many rainy seasons in the UK. Whiterun had normal paved roads? No, that's too clean. It needs to be a gritty, rocky, soily road. What's this? New, clean wooden walls? Fuck that! How about cracked, dirt-filled plaster walls? And just about everything has been retextured. Even the goddamn shields on your Vasker, which, by the way, what a transformation. I mean, just a complete 360 while keeping to the original concept. Even the grass has been made grittier and darker, and everything just works so well and so seamlessly together that it really feels like a complete professional transformation of Whiterun, giving it some real well-needed character, because God forbid it certainly didn't really have much of it before. I mean, this is now a place where high testosterone Nords reside and wage war. Also, probably goes without saying that if you're running a really happy, fruity, Japanese anime Skyrim, this probably won't be your Whiterun texture of choice. I don't always review earring mods, but when I do, that shit's breathing. This is Breathing Rose, the absolute only earring mod that is alive. Only the Japanese would come up with this shit. So on Farangard's desk, you will find a rose caught in a bottle, because that's what you do with roses. You catch them and you put them in a bottle. So they come in several different colors: Morrowind, Sanguine, and Red. I like how they only come in dark and somber colors, because I have crippling depression and they're constantly breathing, which is totally normal and non-questionable behavior out of an earring. They're definitely not sucking the life force out of you, and you will definitely not die in the next couple of weeks. Next up, we have quite possibly the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, besides my girlfriend: the Dunmerry Leaf Swords. To get these swords, find the fully voice-acted Garelem Marini.
Say, you wouldn't happen to know any blacksmiths that can forge ebony, would ya?
Now there's several ways you can get the sword: complete his quest, buy it from him, persuade him, murder him.
Thanks for that, friend.
The interaction's very short, but still better implementation than 99% of the mods on the Creation Club. And the quality, trust me, there is no Bethesdian Creation Club limitations here. For most swords, the further away you get, the better it looks. This sword, the closer you get, the better it looks. No pixelization. The closer you get, the more details get revealed. It seems like almost a waste that in normal gameplay, you will never actually get to see the details, because the only way you can is by switching to field of view 30 and using the flying camera like I am here. And people are actually complaining that looks too pretty to be a Dunmerry sword. Get the fuck out of here. Look at this sword and respect it. This right here is straight up sword prawn. I almost feel like I need to delete my internet history. I'm not even browsing the internet. I'm playing Skyrim. Finally, a first-person magic animation mod called, finally, first-person magic animation mod. Now, there's nothing particularly wrong with the vanilla casting animations, but it's just a lot of us have played the game for far too long now, and sometimes we just want to grab a handful of magical testicles. Now, from what I can tell, most of the changes are actually incredibly subtle. For example, this little swish motion before blasting, and you just feel a little bit cooler than you normally would. And just these little swishy motions that just seem a little more ha-ta-ta, fancy, like drinking your tea with your pinky up, except casting spells and shit. They should honestly just make an animation where it's just sticking the pinky up all the time for every spell. There's even a version where the heal spell is identical on both hands while charging, like you're grasping at two holy balls in front of you, and then when you release, they go their separate ways. Some of them tucking the elbows, putting the hands closer together. Concentration spells, you know, you're concentrating heavily on fondling God's balls, and instead of the palms facing you, when you perform telekinesis, they'll actually face the other way. And when using both at the same time, I'll let your imagination do the rest. As for the master spells, you're less fondling at this point, but more kind of grabbing. And instead of smashing it all down with both arms, you're kind of just like, boop. Just one hand, and even changes some dual casting animations. And instead of charging the ball between your hands, you actually cross your hands, charge it in between them, and then have it go around them. That is really cool. Some of them are very abrupt though. They kind of just go from charge to release. I'd imagine making big animation changes, do animations such as these, are probably a nightmare, which is why probably nobody does it. But big props to this guy, although I'm like 90% sure that half of these animations were made to just grope invisible people. I've been modding Skyrim for almost 6 years. Needless to say, I've seen some pretty weird shit. This next mod comes pretty close to that one mod that displayed popsicles in display cases. And this shit, my god, this shit. This is Winterhold Shelter by Haley. A random magical pillar has appeared beneath the College of Winterhold stairs. How did it appear? Why is it there? Does the college know it's there? Don't ask questions. Inside, you'll find what almost seems like an extension of the College of Winterhold, and a young woman named Ayana, who looks suspiciously similar to Quiet from Metal Gear Solid. It seems like Quiet has now settled for the quiet lifestyle. That's right, Quiet from Metal Gear Solid is now a chef, serving 2 Khajiit, maybe friends, I don't know, but this picture is really adorable, and their pet fox. It's almost mind-blowing that these are Khajiits, and not sleuths in paper-thin thongs. It all seems uncharacteristic in this age of modding, but you know what's not uncharacteristic in this age and day of modding? Automatic stripping bathtubs in the middle of the room. Now this place also has its very own practice room. This has got to be the most spotless practice room to ever exist. Activate the statue and they'll start violently beating on your woman. There's blood everywhere. Oh, for the love of God. Except for the fact that they do no damage, and they're even essential. Hit the other statue, and congratulations. You've completed another training session. Now back to cleaning the floors. Now here's where the weird part begins. There's a cemetery underneath her house. I can only assume that these are the ashes of her victims, and that she's a cold-hearted killer with no remorse for humankind. And then that led to a random cave. Inside I found a busty, Negroid Argonian woman. Apparently there's a whole tribe of Negroid Argonian peoples residing below her cemetery. At which point I found myself purchasing a ticket to some sort of creepy theme park for 3,000 septims. What I saw inside were failed Jabberwockies, forever forced to dance upon fire, and potentially Down-syndromed horses. In which point I stumbled upon a Halloween exhibit where I murdered a 50-foot tall grandma, at which point cheese started floating. I fought waves of failed Jabberwockies and proceeded to murder them in a wine cellar, and explored their Christmas town, and discovered that they were trying to summon an ungodly creature into our realm. At which point I murdered them, stepped into that realm, fought an ungodly powerful failed Jabberwocky amongst ethereal apples, and if you manage to kill her, she will apparently show up to your wedding with Ayana. I can't imagine why you would want a scantily clad post-failed Jabberwocky at your wedding, but I can tell you that I would love to have whatever this modder is smoking. That's gonna be it for this week, guys. If you're still looking for some quick cash, Swagbucks is still sponsoring. There's a link down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you all later. Peace!
Looking for some cheap games? Check out g2a.com and use the code MXR to get 3% cash back. Link down below.